And remember last week, I think it was last week when I was talking about discipline, and we were talking, and I had brought up the point about what was the purpose of fasting, and that's what it goes to. That's why fasting is very hard, is because we are trying to discipline our flesh. We're trying to go against the very nature of things that we want, and a lot of people don't do that because they don't want to be uncomfortable. And but if you do, a person that has discipline, like you said, are going to be very successful. And that's not necessarily success measured by money or anything. I mean, just success in life in general, success towards reaching purpose, success towards finding purpose, success towards family building, all of those things, because you're going to pour in to the things that you want. And somebody I know who was a CPA, she has said, so she audits. She was saying, show me your statement, and I can show you what you value. And I think a lot of times what we think that we value doesn't necessarily match up with our actions. And I can admit that I'm guilty of that. Because I remember when I had said before how when I caught COVID, it was just a thing that just shifted in my mind in terms of thinking that I might die, and then just playing things over in my life, and looked at, man, I should have spent more time with my children. I should have spent more time doing this with my husband. I should have. So all of the things prior to that I was doing, like work and going to school, trying to climb the ladder, those things were important. And in my mind, I was doing it for my family. Like the more money I made, the more things that we get to do. We get to go on vacations. We get to do this. We get to buy that. But at the end of the day, what it was that those vacations substituted just quality time that I needed to spend with my kids. But I wanted it wrapped up in a nice little bow, as opposed to just being there. And I think that's what happens most of the time in relationships. We take for granted, like men, they may work so they can make all this money and then say, this is what I did for my family, and society rewards him for that. But at the end of the day, they're missing out on the biggest reward, which is their family. So definitely.
I think you're so right with that balance sheet thing, because so people would be like, oh, I don't have to, like, I work all day, I don't have time to be with my family, right? I'm only here to provide finances. And if you go through the balance sheet, you got a car note payment of $890 a month. You got a house that you never in, that's $3,200 a month. Then you got food and maybe restaurant and all those things. They prioritize a standard of life over a standard of family. And when you do that, your family is going to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Like eventually having kids, they're gonna get to a point where they're more need you.
Excuse me.
But when you have the ability to be there, or you can downgrade, like I know we so materialistic and so focused on us impressing the next person. We probably should think more about impressing the people that we immediately are in charge of, or immediately are responsible for, or immediately love. And then I think maybe like results would be a whole lot better. Because right now, valuing all this material stuff at the expense of actual family and to be an individual, it's been failing us. And we got more depressed, more these people, like people be sounding extremely angry when I hear them speak. And these are people who would claim to be successful, would claim to be doing things the way they want. And then I'm listening to them, and I got to stop. I try and hack my brain, right? So even if it's something extremely negative, I could find a way to contort my perception to make it be a positive for me. So even in a loss, I'll gain something as a win, because I learned something that was valuable that I didn't know, because I wouldn't have been in that situation if I hadn't. But it seemed like most people is just stuck into whatever the negative thing that's gripping them or around them, and then just continually doubling down on that. Be a materialistic things, be a saying you don't have enough time, whatever it is. But back to your balance sheet thing, they have no way of really looking at their life and being able to take introspection, like you said, and see what they actually value. And a lot of times it's not what they would say out loud that they value.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know, it's so funny because somebody. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I wanted to say, about the Mike Tyson video. Mike Tyson, right, like in a universal sense, but I would question which God, because you got the Muslims. What I'm saying, they worship things in the sky. That's them worshiping the creation. Then you got the let me see, what was the other one?
Christians.
What? Not the Christian. It was
What's the
another one.
point in all this? I was.
Right.
Yeah, the point of all this, what I'm saying, the only thing that makes sense is the creator controlling the creation, not worshiping the star Diana, whatever, like Muslims do. And there was another
Okay.
reason.
Okay. So
Wait,
if
hold on. Wait,
No,
what?
no Muslim slander,
let me.
sir.
Okay.
Or
So
or, or like like the Nile, where the woman supposed to created the man in the Nile, like the African deities, whatever. What I'm saying? That's still, but still, a woman want a man to lead, and so that's still like, you know, the creator, worshiping the creation. What I'm saying? Only thing that really makes sense is Christianity. What a
Oh,
creator is controlling everything.
well,
let me
listen,
say
I
this.
don't think God has any, I don't want to say God has anything to do with it, because Mike Tyson did say that. And actually he is Muslim. But the point I think that you're missing is it had nothing to do with the religion aspect. It was so more so a metaphor about disciplining yourself. So at the end of the day, what he's saying, it begins and ends with you. And so it does, at that point, it doesn't matter which God you choose to worship. At the end of the day, the work is going to be on you.
Let me just say this. Not even the work that's going to be on you. It's noise. Somebody said in the chat, it's noise. There's always going to be a distraction. If you're on purpose, there's always going to be a distraction. And what it feels like is when you're trying to go for something that's good and it's going strong, it's almost like a temptation that comes and tries to knock you off track. And we fall for that temptation every single time. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if, as much conversation as we talk about getting in the draws, as much conversation as we talk about on all these dates and how one side is manipulating the other one, if we put that into ourselves, how great we will be. If we could just take away all this noise of trying to outdo the other one and just try to work together, imagine how great we could be. A lot of people are not successful in their own right because of noise. It is somebody who walked in their life, tempted them, and knocked them off track. Think about all the people in jail because of noise. Think about all the baby mamas out here, baby daddies out here because of noise, temptation. We fall for it every freaking time, and we allow it to lead our lives.
It comes from television. You know what I'm saying? You get
It's
rid of
not. No, no, no,
television.
no, 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 no. Listen to what I'm saying. It's your desire, it's your temptation. You have to be stronger than that. You have to be disciplined. So many families are broken up because some chick that came in and messed your whole family up. You
It's always.
know, it's outside noise, and we gotta be better than that because we are the most affected by it. Some people can deal with noise and try to fit it in their life and it'll work for them. We bring in noise and we get distracted by the noise, and all of a sudden it's a concert. Like it's all about
Yeah, it's only so many rich guys and women.
here. And when I say the noise, the temptation is up here on this pedestal. And all we could talk about is how we can get more of the noise, more of the temptation. Meanwhile, your family over here, your kids don't got a daddy. You
Oh
don't
my
got no
goodness.
money. You can barely pay your rent. You the lowest on the totem pole. Like, what are we doing here?